You ever have one of those days where you're just standing there at work watching your manager's mistress shoplift groceries and you think, yeah, I could probably burn this place down and nobody would even notice? That was pretty much my summer back in 2018, working at what I can only describe as the world's most dysfunctional chain grocery store. You think you've seen bad bosses? Nah, you haven't met Derek. This guy wasn't just a walking HR violation, he was also the son of the regional director, which made him basically untouchable. Every screw-up got blamed on somebody else. And if you wanted to keep your job, you didn't talk about the fact that his so-called assistant manager, Vanessa, never actually showed up for work unless you count shopping and not paying as work, which apparently Derek did. Now, Derek didn't care about laws, schedules, or frankly, reality. He scheduled everyone however he wanted. Kids in summer school, teens with finals, didn't matter. His philosophy was, if the computer would let you clock in, you were working. Overtime, underage, working too late or too early. If you complained, you were threatened with getting fired. I watched him tell a girl to skip her final exam because, not my problem, find coverage or don't come back. Another kid got fired for going to his sister's wedding. You can't make this up. The kicker was Derek was never actually there. He'd clock in, disappear, swing by for bank deposits, then leave his override badge on the desk, breaking company policy, by the way, so he could be a ghost manager but still override registers when needed. And nobody at corporate cared because Derek's dad ran the whole show. It was a circus, and we were all the clowns. You know what made it all so much sweeter? Corporate was obsessed with mystery shoppers. They'd come in, do their checklist, price out a bakery cake, complain, ask to unring an item at checkout, the whole 9 yards. Easy to spot, which made it even more hilarious. So my last week before heading back to college, I spot this blatant mystery shopper with her notepad. Derek's long gone. Vanessa is off busy, the other assistant manager just got fired, and the only cashier left is at lunch. It's quiet, so I decide, you know what? Let's do some reporting of my own. When the mystery shopper asks for a price check, I accidentally ring it up, then grab the override badge, override it, and oops, launch the badge deep behind the manager's desk into the abyss of tangled cords. Pretty sure the security tapes would have shown it wasn't much of an accident. Not like I cared, I was done. Maya, the other cashier, gets back from lunch and asks what I did. I just wink and tell her, "You might want to call in sick. This is about to get interesting." She grins. No way am I missing. This lunch rush is coming. This is going to be epic. And epic it was. We get slammed by construction guys on their break. The mystery shopper is waiting in line, and wouldn't you know it, she needs something voided. So I call for Derek over the intercom, full name for extra flavor. He's gone nowhere to be found. Maya's playing along loudly, reminding me that managers aren't supposed to leave badges out, making sure everyone hears. Eventually, both of us head up to the office to look for the badge. Meanwhile, the crowd is getting restless. And this is where Maya, bless her chaotic heart, decides to go nuclear. She apologizes to the mystery shopper, makes her switch lines, can't void the transaction, and starts unplugging registers to reset them. We both know it's a dumb hack, but Derek and definitely the mystery shopper have no clue. So there we are, chaos at both registers, mystery shopper scribbling away, customers fuming, and all the while we're just acting confused and so sorry our manager isn't here. Construction guy asks if this is normal. I shrug. More than you'd think. Someone checks the parking lot. No, Derek. We offer to call regional, the number's right there. People start taking advantage, and some are just plain mad. But honestly, I was having a blast. For once, the power wasn't on their side. 2 hours later, 2 regional sends in Mr. Patterson to override the system, but the damage is done. No lunch rush, all hot food, wasted metrics, trashed. And the best part, Patterson's on the phone frantically trying to cover for Derek and his dad, blaming it all on a computer outage. I clocked out and never looked back. But Maya told me later that Derek showed up right as Patterson was doing his job, made up some story about a personal emergency, and then sulked for days. Maya didn't care. She had receipts on everything, was already looking for a better job, and told me she'd documented every stupid thing Derek ever did. By the time corporate sent down the audit team, the whole scheme unraveled. Labor violations, illegal overtime for minors assistant manager. Never seen at work. Vanessa on payroll, but never present. Derek, his dad, and Vanessa all out. Store went back to normal. Maya got a new job. I never worked retail again. Sometimes the circus closes and you just move on. But let's talk about the joys of homeownership. You think HOA horror stories are exaggerated? Let me back up a sec. I specifically bought my house to avoid all that drama. Mine was built long before the subdivision popped up and created an HOA for their beige little world. My house, red door garden gnomes from my mom flowers that aren't on any approved list, just a touch of rebellion. The new HOA president, though, he didn't like that. This guy, classic, peaked in high school energy, lived 3 doors down and treated his clipboard like a sheriff's badge. First, it was a citation for my flower beds being too close to the sidewalk, threw it away. Then one for my house numbers being the wrong font. Then for my garbage cans, then my car, which apparently violated their rule about inoperable vehicles, even though it runs just fine. I just work from home. Sorry, not sorry. Called the management company, and you know what they told me? My house affects the overall aesthetic of the community, so I needed to comply with their standards, even though I was never part of their HOA. She actually said that with a straight face. I laughed, hung up, and figured that was the end of it. Wrong. A week later, I get home to find the board president and his sidekick literally in my backyard taking pictures of my shed. Not at the fence, in my yard. I told them to leave. They claimed HOA covenants let them inspect any property they feel like. I told them if they didn't get off my property, I'd call the cops. So I did. Cops show up, tell the president his covenants don't override the law. Trespassing is still trespassing. He can't believe it, but they make him leave. Now I'm angry. I do some digging. Read every line of their HOA bylaws. Find out not only are their rules ridiculous, but their enforcement process is a goldmine for anyone with a grudge and a camera. So I start my new hobby, documenting every violation in the neighborhood. Wrong mailbox style here, wrong landscaping, border there, basketball hoop on the wrong side of the house. Even the board president's own house was the wrong shade of beige. You better believe I filed complaints, 47 of them, against 23 houses, all carefully documented with photos, timestamps, page numbers. My favorite was the 12-page dossier on the president's house, wrong porch light, wrong house number placement, you name it. Within 2 weeks, the HOA is drowning in complaints, having emergency meetings, hiring temps to keep up. But here's the twist. They can't ignore my complaints. Their own rules say they have to investigate everything or risk a county intervention. The board president's meltdown when he saw the complaint about his own house priceless. Neighbors start getting citations for stuff they didn't even know was a rule. Panic sets in. People call lawyers. HOA meetings turn into shouting matches. Eventually, the president tries to accuse me of harassment, says my complaints are frivolous. So the management company's top inspector reviews every single one, finds out they're all real, and even uncovers more. He tells the board they should use my format for future complaints. The president nearly combusts. Meanwhile, lawyers dig in and discover the HOA's been selectively enforcing the rules for years, targeting people they don't like, letting friends slide. Discrimination claims start flying. The management company threatens to drop them. The board's lawyer finally calls me, offers a deal. They'll admit my property isn't under their control. File a legal survey to prove it and promise to never bother me again if I stop filing complaints. I say sure. The president resigns. The new board changes the rules, drops most citations, and just like that, peace returns. Best part. A few neighbors thank me. Turns out they were all sick of the HOA, just too scared to fight back. Moral of the story, sometimes the best way to beat a bully is to let them drown in their own nonsense. Board president wanted to play the rules game. I played it better. And now when I wave from my not beige house, people wave back. So what do you think, is standing your ground against authority worth the headache, or is it just a recipe for more drama? Ever fought back against a power-hungry boss or a nosy HOA? Drop your stories down below. And hey, if you made it this far, share your take on what real justice looks like. Sometimes you gotta let folks taste their own medicine.